So before you learn how to get life insurance in the Philippines, it's best to go window shopping first. Prices and coverage will vary depending on the policy. So do your research first before you sign the papers. In today's video, we're gonna talk about the life insurance in the Philippines. And did you know that less than 2% of Filipinos actually avail an insurance? Majority of Filipino can actually afford an iPhone or pay an installment of an iPhone, but still cannot avail an insurance policy. Why don't we define the life insurance? Okay, I have to read what life insurance means. So it says here, life insurance is a contract between a life insurance company and a policy owner. So a life insurance policy guarantees the insurer pays a sum of money to one or more named beneficiaries when the insured person dies in exchange for premiums paid by the policyholder during their lifetime. And we're going to talk about the excuses Filipinos have when they get offered to get an insurance policy. I don't have enough money. That is true. A lot of us Filipinos are still living paycheck to paycheck. So by the time that we receive our salary, it's already divided into bills for the things that we want and for our family. So we really don't have an allotted money for an insurance. Bahala na is something we Filipinos say when we want to leave something to God. It's like, let's figure things out when that time comes. We believe that living in the present is much more important than anything else. Also, we have this mindset that when that time comes, God will never leave us and He will provide for us. So even if we still have enough time and resources to prepare for rainy days, we just neuter bahala na. I still have a lot of time. Especially when you are young, you don't really feel that you need one or you need to get one. And I am also guilty of this because I've said this before when I get offered to have an insurance. And yeah, I always say that I'm still healthy, I don't need to get one, without even thinking of the future. And we Filipinos are not a fan of delayed gratification. See, we are one day millionaire. We focus on now. We don't think of the future that much. It's not an investment. I mean, I have to pay for it, but I'm not the one who will benefit for it. It's a liability, not an asset. And you want me to pay for it? It's like an additional cost. There's this thing called VUL. Okay, so Variable Universal Life Insurance, or VUL, is a type of permanent life insurance policy with a built-in savings component that allows for the investment of the cash value. I already have SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth, or the government-mandated benefits. You can use PhilHealth during emergency hospitalization, but you can use it in a PhilHealth accredited hospitals only. You cannot use it when you're availing outpatient or special packages. And yes, you can use PhilHealth for at least 24 hours of confinement. It is part of employers' compensation package. Like for example, in our company, we have life insurance. But you can only use that during your time in the company that you're working. But when you decided to shift or transfer to another company, you cannot use that insurance anymore. I asked a financial advisor at what age can you get insured? And she told me that you can still get insured until age 82. But you have to remember that when you are old enough, that when you are old and you already have underlying diseases, you will get to pay a higher premiums. So when is the time to get an insurance policy? Now is the time to get one, because not all the time you are healthy, you are young, and you are able to pay for it. And not all the time you are insurable. And while you're young, the premiums are more cheaper, or it's more cheap. Not all Filipinos who have a stable job are still considering to get a life insurance. For some, it's not a wise decision. What do you think, fam? Paying a $112 quarterly, isn't that expensive? If you are a breadwinner or you already have a family of your own, I suggest you get one. It will help your family to save a financial burden once an unforeseen or uncertainty happens, and you cannot prevent that. We all cannot prevent that, and it's better that we are prepared. Again, the decision on whether to get a life insurance or not will still vary from person to person. So it is based on your needs and your financial standing. And for me, getting life insurance protect your loved ones from financial difficulties once you're gone. Get an insurance first before having an investment, because it will help you protect your assets in the future. It depends upon the coverage that you will get, but if you get a life insurance, it's like having a security that once you're gone, your loved ones are taken care of and they will not suffer from financial difficulties, especially if you're a breadwinner and you have a kids or you have a family of your own. Here in the Philippines, getting hospitalized is not cheap. It will cost you thousands of money if you get admitted. And I've seen this a lot, especially in the province area. For example, you have an asset, like for example, you own a land or like animals. How do I say this? Like for example, and some of the family members gets hospitalized and you have to sell some of your properties. And because you need the money immediately, you have to sell it in a lower price. So by having an insurance, but still it depends upon the coverage that you get, it will get you a security that someone will have to pay for it. I don't have to pay everything for the hospitalization. Like maybe you will just get to pay a partial of it, but it will save you a lot of money by getting an insurance. But of course, you will still need to consider on having an emergency fund, because life insurance is not for you. It is for your beneficiaries. Paying $112 quarterly is not something every Filipino can afford. And I understand that, because not all of us are getting the same amount of salary. Like for example, you are working in a province area, so your rate is much lower than someone who works in the city. It's not that we Filipinos don't want to be insured. It's just that we have a lot of priorities. Like we need to prioritize to put a food on the table. So, getting a life insurance or insurance is our least priority. But I really hope that Filipinos can think long term and the benefits of getting one. So, the excuses that I've shared to you is not something that I made up. I've actually asked a couple of my coworkers about this, and yes, confirmed. We have the same excuses back when I was offered to get an insurance policy. So that's it for today's fam. I hope you learned something from me. And I have to say bye because today is my due date. I have to pay for my insurance policy. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share it. Have a good day, fam. Bye.